What about the threat? So you see, you know it's a threat. What should you know about them? Explain.
Like if there's a car, like they could take you into the car and then
Sure.
they take you, all the things they could do to you.
Possibly, yeah. What they look like, you know, what they look like. So if a cop says afterwards, you get away and he's like, well, what did the guy look like? You'd be surprised at how many people can't tell them. Or they're so wrong, they'll ask 3 different people and everyone's different. He was 6'4", no, he was 5'9". He was 200 pounds, nah, he was about 150. You know, just, he had hair, no, he didn't have hair. You know, it's amazing, because you're under stress. You lose it under stress. The very simple becomes very difficult. So what do they look like? Can you see their hands? If you can't see their hands, be careful. They might have a weapon. All right, could kill you. Is there verbal or verbiage matching their body language? Or are you getting that gut feeling again? So this guy's really sweet talking you. And he's a little bit too nice because he wants something. Whatever something is. Your money, you, whatever. So listen to your gut. That's a huge one. Listen to your gut. So some things about the threat. Avoid isolation. Avoid isolation at any cost. I know what you're thinking. Obvious threats, great. Subtle threats, uh-oh, I'm already isolated with him probably. That deals with more the social conflict resolution, because you're already in a circumstance that you're in a certain amount of risk. But for the obvious threats, avoid isolation. If somebody comes up to you, puts a knife to their throat, here's your robbery issue, knife to your throat, I say, give me your money, you, yes. If I say, give me your keys, you, give the nice man with the knife your keys. If I say, get into the car, you do anything that you can not to get in the car. 76% of the time, the last time that we saw you alive would be the last time that we saw you alive. Most of the time, you end up dead. About 26% or 23%. It's a huge ratio of you not surviving that. You being raped, you being tortured, you being kidnapped, you being killed. And again, that is the reality. I wish it was different, but that is the reality. Do whatever you need to do to not get in the car, to not get isolated, to not go down that back alley, because that may be the last time we see you. Hopefully not, but maybe. Avoid isolation at all costs. Ironically, again, in a subtle threat, it's exactly the thing that I want to do, even if I want to get to know you. You meet somebody, hey, what do? You want to get them alone. So what do you do with that? You go to a party. What are the party rules? A, don't go party. That's the big rule. That's good. That's good. That's good that you don't. But a lot of people do, unfortunately. And a lot of people drink when they shouldn't be and are doing other things that they shouldn't be doing, unfortunately. The less that you do of that, the more you'll be safe. The more that you do of that, the more risk you put yourself in. And I would say try not to do that. A, you're old enough, but you're not old enough, right? So that's not a good idea. But if you do, I'm not your parent, I would say don't. I would know a lot of people who would arrest you when you do it and call your mom. But if you do find yourself doing that, if you want to go to a party, buddy system. Go with at least one person that you trust. And don't let either one of you get too far from each other. And definitely don't leave without the other one. If you meet somebody that you're kind of attracted to, get their number. You get their number. Not give them yours. You get their number. And then call them afterwards. If they're anything worth anything, they'll be patient. They'll be chomping at the bit for you to call. Right? But you control the circumstance, not vice versa. So buddy system, control the circumstance, right? So you get their information. Never let somebody else take you home. Go with the group of people that you know and you trust. Again, it's kind of a misnomer because a lot of the people we already know are some of the people who are the rapists, so be careful. But buddy system, buddy system, buddy system. Just like when I used to go swimming down at Richmond Park. You know. Horn goes off, you get your buddy, everybody gets out of the pool, you sit there, and you count. Don't they?
There's lifeguards too.
Oh. No, I don't know. I mean, the last time I was there was probably, you guys aren't even born yet. So, buddy system. If you go on a date, try to go daytime coffee for a couple reasons. A, if they're creepy, then it's an easy way out. Right? Even aside if they don't, you know, they don't have any ill intentions, they're just goons, you know. It's just easier to escape. You know. B, it's safer for you. Get to know them a little bit more. Go on a double date if you can, or go with a group of people. And again, daytime better than nighttime. Get to know them a little bit more. Sometimes they're tricky though. Sometimes again, it goes back into that conflict management. Sometimes it's tricky. They come across as being all right at first, and then things go south from there. Have somebody call you and know where you're at. Again, you probably both have used this trick before. Have one of your girlfriends call like midway through, oh hi, da, da, da. And then you go, you know, yeah, it's cool, or oh look, I gotta go. You know? So that way you don't feel bad like you're, you know, trying to get rid of them, and it's an easy way out. So, but that's good. That's good to do. Let people know that you're there and keep in communications with them. So those are some just real quick tips. Attract attention is the next one. Oops, there we go. My ends are horrible. Attract attention. Again, this is a more obvious threat. So something bad starts happening, attract attention. The goofball knows, A, what he's trying to do is illegal, it's immoral, that's why he wants to isolate you. And that's why he doesn't want anybody to interrupt you, or him rather. That's why he tries to isolate you, so he will not be interrupted. So attract as much attention as you can. So attract as much attention. Sometimes yelling help doesn't help, because people don't want to be involved. Yelling fire oftentimes is better. And also when you see something happening with somebody else, don't ignore it. It doesn't mean get hurt, you know, physically engage and get hurt. You know, you're not Superwoman. You know, I don't want you to get hurt, get shot, get knifed, whatever, because you're trying to help somebody else out. But don't ignore it either. Get on your cell phone. I'm sure you both have them, right? Yeah, absolutely. Everybody has a cell phone nowadays. Text, 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 text. Get on your cell phone, call the cops, and tell them you're calling the cops. Get on, yell, scream, make as much noise as you possibly can in any type of situation. Action. So act. You need to do something. If you choose to do nothing, that's still an action. But it's got to be a choice. If you just freeze, because the three responses to a stressful situation is fight, flight, or freeze. Oftentimes, the majority of times, people freeze. They're about 10 to 20% they fight, 10 to 20% they cruise, and then the rest of the time they just freeze. They don't know what to do. So do something. And then last is adapt. If whatever it is isn't working, isn't getting you what you want to have happen, get the heck out of there. If you can't, you need to adapt your plan and do all the steps again until the outcome is more what you want. And again, this is more of an obvious threat. So the 6 A's, the right attitude, awareness of yourself, the environment, the threat, avoid isolation at all costs, attract attention to a situation both that is happening to you and or happening to someone else. Make sure you act and adapt if it's not working.